gone through last year's PDP, and
Yeah.
it's great that you did all three of the things that were in your PDP. So you need to sort of do a PDP for the next year. I can't see that you've written anything in your developmental needs. So have you put any thought to your PDP?
I've given it a little bit of thought. There was something we talked earlier a little bit about collapsing children, and sort of as things have gone on, the one thing I did think that I hadn't thought about was allergy in children.
Okay.
I wonder whether one of the things that that might be quite helpful to do would be a look at our EpiPen prescribing in children specifically, because obviously there's two different strengths, and I'm not sure in our practice that we necessarily have a very rigid safety net for making sure that the dose is changed when the child turns 6 years old. So that was something that just thought of sort of as we've been going through.
You haven't put an audit in this year. Have you done an audit in the last couple of years?
I did one a couple of years ago, but yeah, I've not done one for this year.
Can you think of how you may utilise that EpiPen?
Yeah, I could do that. I could do that as a
that?
proper audit. I'd do it as an 8-point audit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're happy, you understand how to do an audit and what's needed?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so we can put that down as an audit of your, so it'll be an audit of EpiPen
EpiPen
uses
prescribing.
in children.
Yes, in children.
Okay, and you're just looking at the dosage with their age.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, that's good. Anything else?
Can't think of anything that's come up as we've gone through.
Okay. I think there was, you did the peer question.
Right,
You
yeah.
haven't done a patient feedback. Is that
Okay,
something?
right. Yes, I'll need to get that done, and that would be interesting. I haven't done one of those since I was a trainee, so yeah, that would be.
And if you do that, then I'll cover you for revalidation.
Okay,
because
yeah.
There's only one patient feedback now
Yes,
per revalidation cycle.
yeah.
So do you know how to do that? There's a online
Yes, the Equinity
Equinity.
system.
Have you had an email from them recently about?
Yes, I've had one recently because I'm due for a validation before the next appraisals, about the time of the next appraisal.
So you've
I'll
got
get that
one
done
more
before.
appraisal to that,
yeah.
but that's really useful because
Yeah.
and you know that there's revalidation templates for audits to use. So you need to use a revalidation template. You've seen where that is. You're happy
Yes,
with that?
yeah, I've seen it as a bit
So
further
third
along.
is
Yes,
personal practice, and then
that's
you
right.
need
yeah.
to put the audit in the
Okay.
actual
Okay.
revalidation template. Okay, so that's two things that we've got there. Is there anything else that you can think of?
I think I had something on. Sorry.
Go on.
I had something on overconsumption in babies, which I read actually just recently, a couple of weeks before this
Yeah,
appraisal.
it was one of the entries we didn't discuss.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we'll do that.
It was an article about the percentage. I think about 75% of babies under 1 consume more calories than needed, and obviously the contribution of that towards childhood obesity. And certainly, I know at consultation when mums mention, if you see a child with gastroenteritis or something, and you say they off their feeds, you often hear of babies under 6 months that are being fed
more than they should be.
Yeah, and to be honest, I hadn't really considered it as problematic before I read the article. So that might be something I'd quite like to have a look into in more detail about. I can't really believe that at 6 months every baby suddenly needs to be fed, and at 5.5 months they don't, and at 6.5, there must be a spectrum. So I'd like to look a little bit more about the evidence for that, so that it would help me to guide the parents.
So have you thought about where you would look for that evidence?
I thought probably start by discussing it with the person who runs baby clinic, who should have a pretty good idea.
And the health visitor.
And the clinical leads,
Okay.
and see if there's some good sources of advice there. But we certainly get lots of parents that say, oh yeah, I've been feeding my baby since 3 or 4 months because he's hungry. and I wonder if there's maybe some better strategies for dealing with hungry babies, or maybe it's a communication thing, maybe it's something that you need to be able to discuss with parents as just nature, that babies wake up in the night hungry at that age, and that doesn't need, they need feeding, and it's the expectations are wrong.
I noticed from some of your entries that you are happy with using the internet and online learning, so maybe if you can't get enough information from them, you could try and do an online search and see whether you get that.
And that's one I'll probably have to see how it goes, because I haven't got a very clear picture of how I can meet that need, and I'm not sure that it will be that easy to meet, but something to try.
I just look back, we did put an action point about nice guidance.
Right, yeah.
How do you feel about putting that into your PDP?
You know, it's only a simple bit of reading. I don't think that really needs to go in my PDP at this stage, because it'll be something that I can achieve quite quickly, and I don't like action points being left on my summary, so I shall get that done probably in the next couple of days.
Okay, well, I mean, there's 3 things there, and I think that's an achievable PDP.
Okay.
If you can't think of anything else off the top of your head, then I think that's fine for the meeting at the moment. Remember that, you know, during the year things happen, things change, and you may have different learning needs that come up, and you can put them into your additional PDP as and when you do that. So
okay. That's great. Thank you very much.
Brilliant.
Thank you.